Good evening and welcome back to Sack to the Future 1971. We are now entering week number 3, and the Cincinnati Bengals will be taking on the Buffalo Bills. Both teams have one victory. The Bills also have a tie, whereas the Bengals have one win and one loss on the season. So let's see how this one will turn out. Neither team predicted to be a Super Bowl contender or predicted to win their division, but again, predictions are made to go wrong. So one of these teams is going to get to their second victory. The Bengals don't have a just white jersey, so that's the best you can do for them. And the Bills, of course, do have proper uniforms. All right, so the Bills were basically gifted a tie against the Giants last week. But there you see warming up on the sidelines is Dennis Shaw. The scary part for the Bills was more injuries. O.J. Simpson injured in week 1. Then the guy that took over as the starting running back, Jones, got hurt in week 2. And Shaw was hurt as well for the end of that game, but he is back. So Shaw is going to be able to start here in week number 3. And that's good news, but they are down to their third string running back. So we will see how that plays out, although that third string running back, the rookie, is also one of the reasons that the Bills were able to come back last week, as he had a 99-yard kickoff return to give them a chance. And then another special teams touchdown came in the way of a blocked field goal for no reason. Virgil Carter, 3 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. You see his percentage, 42 out of 59. That's very good. 448 yards, over 200 yards a game, which is good for 71. 3 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. All said, that's a pretty good season so far for a 1971 quarterback, but also pretty realistic. It's not, sometimes it's Back to the Future because, 1, we're still playing Madden, so it still goes a little bit modern on the play callings and things, and 2, because there's semi-pro teams involved, so sometimes you get easy matchups and kind of pad your stats. Sometimes you get some ridiculous quarterbacks, with like 9 touchdowns and no interceptions or something, which doesn't fit in with the 70s, but so far mostly realistic stats. Here's the Bengals offensive line: Wright, Vest, Johnson, Madsen, and Holland. Jess Phillips and Fred Willis, the backs. Myers and Speedy Thomas are the wide receivers, and Bruce Coslett, the tight end. So Lamb got only 1 yard on that reception, bringing up 2nd and 9. And there's a handoff in a huge hole across midfield. 40, one man to beat, tripped him up. A very important trip up there. Otherwise, he was gone for the touchdown. So an explosive run by Phillips early in this one. But not a touchdown. So still a chance for the Bills to rebound and come up with a stop here. Handoff again. That's a better defensive attempt. Here is that Bills defense. Dunaway and Tadrick in the middle, Snowden and Cowlings on the outside, Edgar Chandler, Mike Stratton, Paul Guidry. You got Robert James, John Pitts, Pete Richardson, and Alvin Wyatt are the secondary men. Pitts had a pretty good game last week. Edgar Chandler went out with an injury momentarily last week as well, but he's back, throwing people to the ground. That's Guidry throwing him to the ground, but I'm sure Chandler will as well. There's a handoff, and another. These delay handoffs are giving the Bills a little bit of a problem. That's Willis this time getting 8 yards. It could have also been that it was 3rd and 10, and the Bills were okay with a run happening. The But the Bengals put a lot of yards on the ground in that drive and will be settling for a field goal attempt. So that shoestring trip up, last second tackle, was good enough to basically take 4 points away from the Bengals. And now the Bills will get a chance. Bills technically still undefeated, 1-0-1. The Jets and Patriots are both 1-1, so they're in second place ahead of those two teams, trailing the Miami Dolphins. Here's Dennis Shaw, 1 touchdown, 4 interceptions, also a good completion percentage, though, 44 out of 59, 467 yards. So even more than Virgil Carter, but again, not insane. Okay, so a quick throw, and that's going to work for a first down. A nice little, it's going to count as a rush because it was a backwards pass. So Hill, the receiver, turns it into a 11-yard rush. J.D. Hill, the rookie, the fourth pick in the draft, first overall pick, or first round for the Buffalo Bills out of Arizona State, 4th overall. He's got some good speed, and he showed it on that quick pass to him. Ooh, but the Bills, man, the Bills are suffering the injury bug. Now, like I said, Chandler came back, Shaw came back. Hill is not happy with that, but the bug is at least here for hurt, for parts of games. And a couple running backs have actually gone down for multiple games already. Shaw is going to play action pass and fire into a whole multitude of Bengals. But Haven Moses, the Bill, is the one that comes down with it. So that's some nice trust in your receiver there and a nice catch as well. Throws all kinds of Bengals around, but Moses comes up with it. So these are the kind of games that mean everything. Of course, when you're the top tier games, or top tier teams, according to the experts, like the next game that will be on site to feature the Dolphins and Cowboys. Of course, that means something because that's, best against best. Find out who the Super Bowl favorite will be, whoever wins that game, type of thing. But then teams, let's meet the starters first real quick. Young, O'Donnell, Jarvis, Carr, and Green. Braxton and Patrick are the backs. Briscoe, White, and Moses are the catchers of the ball. Now, you saw Patrick was actually shown for once. He's been the starting fullback the whole season, but they never showed the fullback. However, since the Bills are literally out of running backs, Madden was forced to show the fullback. Barry, Zach, Reed, and Carpenter. Beauchamp, Adams, and Avery, the linebackers. And then your corners are Lamar Parrish and Ken Riley. Then Durko and Fletcher Smith, the safeties. A good pair of corners for the Bengals. And Riley and Parrish. Both young corners, too. Could be setting up some sort of defensive future for the Bengals. That's Shaw's first incompletion. And that will force the Bills to settle for a field goal attempt. So to say the Bills have been in close games would be an understatement. Of course, they got off to a lead against the Jets, and then the Jets came all the way back and tied it before the Bills won it late. Then last week, the Bills were in trouble, got some amazing plays by their special teams, a 99-yard kick return to give them a chance, and then a field goal block and return for a touchdown to put it into overtime and turn a loss into a tie. And now here in this one, it's early, of course, but they're tied 3-3. So this is just going to be a season where the Bills survive injuries and play close games. That's what it looks like early. But I was saying earlier that this is the important games when these are not teams that are supposed to win their division or anything, but there's always some teams that play better than the experts anticipate, and so when you get those games against each other, it could be critical wins. If you're both considered average type teams, or even below average, then, if you play 4 average games, if you happen to win all those, you're just a little bit better than the other average teams, then all of a sudden you're a good team. Virgil Carter on the play action pass fires downfield and complete up to the 32-yard line. Carter off to a 4-for-4 start. So each quarterback completes their first 4 passing attempts. Virgil Carter, of course, in his 4th year now out of BYU, originally drafted by the Chicago Bears. And, nice move there at the 30, and then he gets up to the 23-yard line. Brought down a little bit violently, but not a face mask. 2nd and 1. Bengals play action pass on 2nd and short. Good idea for it, but he ends up going short anyways. Completes the pass to Bruce Coslet, the tight end. And now we have a 1st and 10 from the 13. Turn, he'll give it to Phillips, and now he gets ripped out by the face mask.
Personal foul, face mask, defense.
Well, that will set up a 1st and goal. So, no punting in this one. Bengals march down the field, get a field goal. Bills march down and get a field goal back. And now the Bengals have marched down, and they have a 2nd and goal from the 4-yard line. Another give to Phillips. He breaks away 1 tackle, but gets tackled by Guidry on the follow-up. 3rd and goal coming up. Can the Bills stand up one more time and force a field goal attempt? Pitch out to the side. A couple of Bills chasing. First guy spins around. 2nd guy backs him up, and the rest of the team is there to tackle him for a loss. Good team defense rallying to the football and stopping the Bengals from getting a touchdown on that one. And another field goal attempt for Molman. He puts it home, and it is 6-3 in favor of the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, the one advantage the Bengals have over the Bills as far as which one of these teams might surprise someone to get into the playoffs is the Bengals do have only 3 real teams in their division here in the way, of course, modern Madden has division set up. They do have the Ravens as a semi-pro team, so you would assume that's 2 extra wins. So they get to play 14 games and just pencil in 2 wins on top of their record, whereas the Bills have to play 16 games. I mean, I didn't look at their schedule. Maybe they have a semi-pro team or 2 on their schedule, but just in general, since you know you're playing your division, that automatically gives the Bengals a 2-game easier schedule. 30-35, cuts it back inside. That's the fullback. No, it's not. That's Braxton. Braxton, the starting running back today, usually the 3rd string. The rookie getting more playing time than anyone anticipated, making some good plays, especially on special teams. There's a completion underneath, and that's a huge run after the catch by Wayne Patrick. Shaw's up to 66 yards, and the Bills are answering once again back and forth. Offenses between the 20s, both teams just ripping through the defenses, but then, of course, the defenses tighten up in the red zone. And we've only seen field goals so far. So Shaw has had some running yards in the first couple of games, but being injured and missing part of week number 2, I wonder if he will calm that down a little bit. Has not taken off running yet today. 2nd and 11. There's the handoff to Braxton, who gets basically back to the line, maybe a gain of 1. And that'll end the first quarter. So the first quarter comes to an end. The Bengals have come into Buffalo and taken a 6-3 lead, but nobody has turned it over or punted yet. Shaw, 3rd and 11. Goes up. Now he's going to run for it. 35, gets the first down and takes a big hit. Well, he got the first down. He's popping up from the big hit, so 15-yard scramble was nice, but I'm sure the Bills fans are a little bit nervous when he takes those kind of hits. There's a handoff to Braxton. Nice blocking out to the side. Gets across the 10-yard line, and there is a flag. Is that holding? Was the blocking too good? No, it was hitting out of bounds. Okay. Doug Adams with a more of a modern reality, but still, nonetheless, the Bills will take that penalty. And similar to the Bengals getting a penalty down on the other side of the field, or I guess it was this side of the field before they switched sides. Shaw hits Moses for the touchdown, so the first team to get into the end zone is the Buffalo Bills, and they take the lead in front of their screaming home fans here, who apparently love the number 0. Extra point is up and good. 7-play, 54-yard drive, and the first touchdown of the game belongs to the Buffalo Bills, who now lead 10-6. So will either defense come up with a full stop, meaning force a punt or turnover? We shall see. In real life, the 70s is known as the defensive era of football. So we'll see if the defenses can do anything. And there is a defensive play by Mike Stratton, who comes up and hits Phillips for a 4-yard loss. Virgil Carter's completed every pass he's thrown, but 4-yard losses are actually worse than incompletions. Carter fires, and there's a contested ball. Kadri never wanted to let that one get connected. And we finally have an incompletion, 3rd and 14. There's probably a stop. Ooh, they just hand off. So the Bengals sort of concede that they're going to have to punt. And here you go. First punt of the game will come from the Cincinnati Bengals. Yeah, he has problems with the snap. Gets the punt away, though. The Bengals blocked a kick last week and returned it for a touchdown. Almost had a blocked punt there. But indeed, the Bengals kicker, a punter, able to remain calm and get that punt away. And it was actually a pretty good punt down to the 15-yard line. So out come the Bills. First drive field goal, second drive touchdown. Despite missing their top 2 running backs, they'll hand it off to Braxton. He gets a few. 66-55 on the ground, 50-66 in the air. So very, very even matchup so far. There's a handoff to Braxton. He'll cut back inside, take it up to the 24. 3rd and 2. Bengals switching their tactics on defense. A lot of guys on the line, definitely geared to stop the run. And then they'll put Moses in motion and then throw to him on a quick throw. And that works. Shaw 8 of 9 with a touchdown pass, already having a great start to this game. So he definitely is over any effects he had from getting knocked out of last week's game. So hand off to Braxton, and a nice play made. Is that Beauchamp? It is. Nice tackle made. He was able to stick his ground against the blocker, come off of it with just one hand, and then eventually got his other hand on him to bring him down. But good strength shown there. 2nd and 12. What just happened? Hopefully you guys can still hear me. That actually, again, counts as a rush because it's a backward pass, no gain. 3rd and 12 coming up. Shaw fires, completes, and not enough time to turn around and get upfield. And so now the Bills will punt for the first time. White with another catch. The rookie out of Ohio State has become quite the target for Shaw in his first year. There's a punt down inside the 20, but he brings it out across the 20. Harris just a 3-yard punt return. And the Bengals will start at their own 22-yard line. Down by 4. Pitch out to Phillips. Oh, it looked like the Bills guy was going to hit him in the background, but a nice cut back inside, and then some acceleration shown to turn it into a 18-yard gain up to the 40-yard line. And now turning the handoff to the fullback, who almost broke that tackle, but Guidry able to bring him down. 2 yards for Lamb. Bengals definitely committed to the run today, but here's a play-action pass. Carter fires downfield, and that's what you get when you run the ball 13 out of 20 times. The defense is going to be susceptible to the play-action pass. Nicely done by Virgil Carter and the Bengals. Nice throw over the middle. And the Bengals now threatening to get into field goal range again, but every penalty certainly hurts. And that will hurt the Bengals, making it a 1st and 15 from the false start. 6.5 to go here in the first half. 3 backs behind Carter, and they'll hand off to Phillips, who gets about 1 yard, but they're going to tack 15 onto that as the Buffalo Bills again rip them down by the face mask. Edgar Chandler, told you to rip somebody down. And the Bengals have the ball just inside the red zone. Handoff to Lamb, huge hole, and all the way down to the 1 yard line. Whoa, they're calling it a touchdown. I did not think he got it in. Definitely an impressive run with the quick hitter to the fullback. But did he get this across? I don't see where that ball ever gets across, honestly. They are going to review it.
The previous play is under review.
Let's see if they'll show any worthwhile angles. Yep, that's going to tell us nothing. I mean, even from that angle, it doesn't look like he gets it across, and that's the angle that would probably look best for the Bengals, but any sort of sideline view, of course not. All right, so based on what we saw, still go with there's no way. Okay, it was reversed. It's not a touchdown, but it's still a 1st and goal from inside the 1. Can the Bills defense rise to this challenge here? 3 backers, and there's an easy touchdown for Phillips. So the only thing that happens is Lamb doesn't get credit for the touchdown. Phillips does. It was the right call, though. And the Bengals retake the lead, 12-10, and let's see if Molman makes it a 3-point game. Okay. Bengals' 3rd scoring drive of the first half. And the Bengals have the lead again. 3rd different time that the Bengals have taken the lead. They were up 3-0, 6-3, and now 13-10. Braxton gets it up to the 24-yard line where the Bills will take over. Each team's punted once. Hand off to Braxton. And down he goes at the 27-yard line. Shaw will back up into the shotgun. Bills right at balance. 10 runs, 10 passes. And let's make it 11 runs. Braxton spins out of that one and fights his way for a first down. So the rookie getting more and more comfortable back there. Nice spin move. Hand off again to Braxton, and he fights, and then finally goes down to the 39-yard line. Braxton again, the 3rd round choice of the Buffalo Bills out of West Virginia. So they definitely targeted offense in the draft, and you've seen, Hill got hurt, but before that he was showing some speed, and Braxton has already showed you some things in the first 2 weeks, being forced to play more and more each week, and now he's starting and the feature back here in week 3. Hill's back, so that's good. It was just a momentary shake-up. So Hill's back, but he's unable to make that catch, and the Bills will come out to punt for the 2nd time. The punt sends the Bills or the Bengals returner all the way back to the 13-yard line, but he returns it up to the 23. Okay, so here comes Virgil Carter and Jess Phillips, and the Cincinnati Bengals. Phillips off to a great start, 78 yards and a touchdown already here in the first half. So again, one of these teams is going to be over 500 at the end of week 3 and have a couple wins. Still plenty of undefeated teams in the league, so not going to start that countdown yet. But the Bills are one of those undefeated teams. And that's the 2-minute warning. Virgil Carter, 8 of 9. Both quarterbacks having great first halves. The score is not too high, which I like because, again, trying to keep in the 70s theme of everything. Virgil Carter's arm gets hit as he goes to throw that, so it goes straight into the ground. But I was going to say the quarterbacks are very accurate. The running game are working. So it's not a huge defensive effort. And there's not a lot of turnovers. But somehow just the score has been able to remain low at 13-10, which is kind of cool. Bengals from midfield. Carter fires, and there's a hit. That's how you stop them from getting all these completions. The throw was still on target, but Guidry just lit up the receiver. Thomas. Carter drops back again, and he's going to get taken down as Taderac pushes his man into him and then able to make the tackle to Taderac. It's not, Taderac doesn't sound right. Taderac is probably the right thing, although for some reason not sure that is it either. Oh, Guidry steps in front of that Virgil Carter pass, and he's going to take it to the house, I think. Number 10 showing some Virgil Carter trying to run him down, but he does not. Guidry picks it off and returns it for a touchdown, and so the Bills continue their non-offensive touchdown scoring. And now a defensive touchdown after 2 different special teams touchdowns last week. Defensive touchdown here in week 3. And the Bills up 17-13, just finding all kinds of ways for a team that was said to have not much talent, or at least not much game-changing talent, other than the talent did running back O.J. Simpson. They lost O.J. Simpson on the second play from scrimmage, and haven't had him back since then. He's still expected to be out for a couple more weeks. But here they are. They still have 0 losses on the board. There's Virgil Carter completing underneath and getting across midfield. So the Bengals, after that pick 6, still in the mood to throw, trying to get more points on the board before the half. Carter drops a little bit further back, and then fires in between a couple of Bills there, and that causes Marshall to come up with an injury. But they do have the ball down to the 36-yard line. 1 timeout left for the Bengals. 42 seconds, Carter drops back, fires underneath, complete, and nice little juke move there by Phillips. And now they're going to have to hurry. They still have 1 timeout, but they would like to call another play. 28-yard line is still not an easy field goal, but definitely doable. Carter fires downfield, complete, inside the 15, down to the 10, and now the Bengals will take their timeout. Oh, I thought for sure they were going to kick the field goal with 9 seconds to go. They're taking a chance here. Any kind of tackle inbounds. Carter dropping back. Waiting, 4 seconds, 3 seconds. He's got to get rid of it. Still spinning. He's going to get sacked, and the Bengals get no points. The Bengals get no points as Carter does not just release the ball and throw it out of bounds or whatever. A little bit of confusion there. By the way, Virgil Carter, of course, number 11. Not sure. On the pick 6, it was Eric Crabtree that actually almost caught Guidry. But anyways, just fixing a mistake there. You see the Bengals, all kinds of yardage advantage, but the pick 6 is the difference. Well, the pick 6 and Carter's inability to get rid of the ball. to avoid losing those 3 points. So all in all, the last 2 drives, Virgil Carter kind of gave up 10 points, or at least an attempt at 3, and definitely threw the pick 6. So the Bills leading, despite being completely outgained. They turned a definite loss into a tie last week. And now this, I would not say, is a definite loss. This is actually a tight game, but yardage-wise, they are losing. You can say the Bengals have been the better team in some areas, but the Bills have the lead. Hand off to Braxton. 10 carries, 51 yards, not bad for your third-string running back. Shaw drops back, fires. Well, he's had a good start to his career, so we're not going to hold that against Jan White too much, but he never turned around for the ball, so some confusion there. Shaw on 3rd and 6 will come back and fall. That was almost, well, I mean, it's 1971, so no one has heard of the Immaculate Reception. But there's a ball hit out and almost goes into another Bills' hands, but it was dropped, so the Bills will have to punt. It's a good punt back inside the 20, but nice blocking allows him to get more than 10 yards on the return all the way out to the 32-yard line. 26 yards per return. I don't know if that's true, but it was a decent return. All right, so the Bengals have put all kinds of yards on the board, but only the 1 touchdown and a couple of field goals. There you see Phillips breaking 1 tackle, but not the second. 15 carries, 78 yards. 1 touchdown so far. Jess Phillips, the fullback. Handoff again. And he fights his way even further forward. It's definitely been a heavy Jess Phillips featured game. Not seen too much from Paul Robinson, the tailback or halfback. And Virgil Carter has been hot for the most part until the interception and then that incompletion there. And the Bengals will punt. So now after almost no punts in the first half, 1 each I think, you're seeing a couple punts here to start the second half. So maybe a change in the game occurred. Defensive coordinators are coming up with something. Shaw drops back. Now he's going to take off and run directly into the Bengal. Avery for the sack. And that backs Shaw up to a 2nd and 18, so that makes it harder. We'll hand off and see what Braxton can do. Braxton almost broke the tackle, but Riley able to hold on and drag him down. So 4 yards gain, 3rd and 14. Shaw under center. Turn and hand it off to Braxton. Again, there's a hole across the 20-25. A nice run. Almost was able to get it all, but he comes up 2 yards short. And the Bills will punt. So 3rd consecutive punt here to start the second half. And what's still a very close game, 17-13. Tired of the good returns. So this time he punts it right to and across the sidelines. Spike Jones, the punter out of the University of Georgia. Virgil Carter looking downfield, complete. Kept his feet in bounds. There's a handoff to Phillips, who just runs through the tackle and gets another first down for the Bengals. 17 carries, 96 yards now for Phillips. who is the leading toucher of the football through 2 weeks. And there's a handoff to Lamb. He's had nice carries when they've given him 3 carries, 29 yards. I don't remember. I think Paul Robinson may be hurt. Actually, I don't think he is, but he's just been out of the game plan today. Carter underneath. Oh, there's a fumble, but it does go out of bounds, so no harm on that one. Carter up to 17 of 22. That's the 4th catch from Lamb today. Right on the edge of being in field goal range. Anything over 50 has been very hard for these kickers to make here in 1971. But there is a nice throw by Carter to Thomas. And the Bengals are over 300 yards of offense already. So the Bills, they're doing it with smoke and mirrors, basically. I mean, really, the Bengals are getting all the yards that they want. But kind of like last week, you don't know how, but the Bills are not losing. Carter fires over the middle, and it's picked off by Guidry again, his 2nd interception of the game, and that will keep the Bengals off the board for another drive. It's just uncanny how, I mean, you could call it luck for a while. They're unlucky with the injuries, but they're finding ways to stop teams without stopping them. It's an interesting coaching job by Harvey Johnson so far. But the most important result, of course, is wins and losses. And the Bills have won a win without any losses. So what's going on here? What's going on here? Definitely a height advantage for the Buffalo Bill guy. So the Bengal decides to back off and not turn this into a wrestling match. 3rd and 8. A handoff, and Braxton almost with the cutback. I thought he might be able to find a lane, but he is stopped at the 10. Bills now over 100 yards on the ground as well, so both teams have run for over 100. But the Bills will have to punt for the 3rd consecutive time here in the 3rd quarter. It's a booming punt all the way back to the 35. And the Bengals will start at their own 44. Excellent field position for the Bengals, who were driving last few minutes ago. But Carter threw his 2nd interception to Guidry. And now Carter drops back again, fires downfield into double coverage. So Carter getting a little bit careless all of a sudden. And the Bengals need to get him under control and realize that they're still only down by 4. Here's a play-action pass. Throws underneath, tackled immediately by Mike Stratton. Carter, 19 of 26, 3rd and 5 coming up. And Carter back to pass. He's got time. Good job by the line again, but he's going to throw that out of bounds, incomplete. And 4th and 5, the Bengals will punt. And they're going to aim it for inside the 10. A nice bounce, as it did not bounce too crazily. Hey, Soundwave. Thanks for watching, man. Yes, this is Soundwave's roster. Actually, I believe it's Soundwave's roster, and then I think the version I have might be iTeach's version, which again, the credit to Soundwave for making the roster, but iTeach just changed the ratings a little bit closer to what I use for a rating system, and then of course I have done some further rating changes, but it's definitely Soundwave's roster. We'll say 99% of this is Soundwave's work, and then I just throw a little bit of rating changes and whatever. Okay, let's say 95, and then I did a couple, and then I finish it off just for my own liking. But thanks again for the support, Soundwave, and thank you for all the amazing rosters. If you want the 71 roster, of course, you can search for Soundwave or I Teach History. I think it's I Teach History 78. Soundwave, I don't remember if he has numbers after his name or not. But you can just search 1971 and it shows up also. But then when you see 1971 and you see it by Soundwave, then just search his ID and find out all these other great rosters. There is Madden 20 is awesome for historical rosters. Like I said before, the reason I was starting it in 71 is because there is like 25 of the next 26 draft classes that I need are already done. So I will basically have to do one draft class fully, and the rest of them I just have to change ratings on, and we can go all the way to 96 or 97, or as far as I could possibly take this thing. But back to the game. The Bills finish off the third quarter without either team scoring, and now Shaw takes off, takes another big hit, bounces right back up though. So Shaw definitely not intimidated by the injury bug. He is tempting fate. But right now, he is a winning quarterback, and he wants to keep it that way. Hand up to Braxton, and the Bengals there to stop him on that one. 20 carries, 83 yards. Definitely getting it done. Third string running back, averaging over 4 yards a carry, just over 4 yards a carry. But that is certainly good enough. And Shaw will throw underneath to Moses, asking him to make a lot of moves. He makes a couple, but not enough. And that brings up a 3rd and 8. Shaw up to 98 yards now. Passing. He's also run for like 30. Shaw on 3rd and 8. Quick throw. Nice grab. The throw was a little bit hard and high, but nicely pulled down by Ted Coy. And still short of the first down, though, so the Bills will punt yet again. The scoring has stopped here in the second half, 17-13 at the half. And remember the mistake at the end of the first half by Virgil Carter, not just throwing the ball away, but taking the sack. That basically cost him 3 points. So instead of a 17-16 game, it's 17-13, which means as time keeps dwindling down, that's a big difference. They have to get a touchdown versus a field goal. But there's a nice throw by Carter. Carter up over 200 yards. That's his 20th completion. Bengals have hit the 350-yard mark. So the big sack by Al Collins brings second 20, and then a nice play. Oh, yes, he does hold on to make the tackle. Nice tackle made on Phillips, who stays at 101 yards by Snowden. And now we're down to 3rd and 21. It's going to be hard for Carter to come through on this one. Josh back. He is going to look for it downfield and complete. He got the first down. Nicely done there by Virgil Carter and his main, or well, I'd say main, one of his main receivers, Chip Myers. And now the Bengals are at the 41-yard line. There's still enough time for the Bengals to kick a field goal, but of course they would like to get the touchdown now and not have to worry about trailing anymore. Second and 10, Carter back to pass again. Steps up. His own fullback kind of got in the way there, and I think that affected his throw. It's inaccurate, and it's 3rd and 10. Carter dropped back again. There's nobody back there with him this time. Oh, he's got a man deep, and he missed him. He had the touchdown there for the taking. Carter upset with himself. Was that Mike Hafner? Who is this? Someone breaks through the Bills' defense. Indeed, it was Hafner. He was all alone out there, and Carter missed him. And now they're going, okay. And now another questionable call by a coach coaching against the Buffalo Bills. This is a 58-yard field goal. I think he was going to make it from 50 or slightly over, but 58 is just too much. So a missed field goal, which surprises nobody. And the Bills take over with great field position at their own 48-yard line. So Carter's had a good game, but he's had a couple costly interceptions. One was returned for a touchdown, and then he made that mistake at the end of the first half to get sacked and not get the 3 points. And then a missed touchdown pass here. So he's made enough mistakes to lose this game despite having good yardage. There's a nice blitz by the Bengals, and Shaw just has to eat it. 7th sack of the game, 4th for the Bengals. 3rd and 21 now. Shaw's got a long way to go, but you saw Virgil Carter did it earlier. He spins around, fires downfield, and incomplete. So 12 of 17 now on the day for Shaw. And the Bills will punt again. Convergence on the returner there. Stops Harris at the 23-yard line. And the Bengals again will start deep in their own side of the field at the 23. Carter drops back to pass. Again, throws incomplete. Carter up to 33 pass attempts. He has definitely gone to the air quite a bit. There's a handoff to Phillips. Phillips has been running well, so they haven't had to go to the air, and they have run too. They've just had the ball a lot. The Bengals have run a lot of plays, and this Buffalo defense has given up a lot of yards. But for the amount of time they've been on the field, the fact that they've only given up 13 points is pretty remarkable. Here's Thomas mad at himself, but that was going to be a heck of a catch. I mean, Carter, I guess, gave him a chance, but the defense was there, and it was going to have to be a circus-type catch, which he was unable to make. And the Bengals will punt with just over 7 minutes to go. Again, as far as the AFC East goes, the Patriots and Jets are both 1-1, and the Dolphins are 2-0. Bills in the middle of all that, 1-0-1. On the Bengals side, the Browns, Bengals, and Steelers are all tied at 1-1, with, of course, the semi-pro team Ravens at 0-2. There's Shaw handing off to Braxton. Another couple yards, exactly at 4.0 yard average now. And now Braxton will motion out of the backfield and in as a split end with 1 second to go. Shaw on the play clock. Shaw takes off running, and he's still running all the way up to the 48-yard line. Could have slid, but elected not to. Takes another hit, but again bounces right back up. Reminds me of Rocky Balboa and Rocky IV. Shaw now firing to no one in particular. Stops the clock with 5:35 to go. So no points here in the second half. Bills have held, since the Guidry pick six, have held on to the lead ever since. And lead right now 17-13 with just 5 minutes to go in this game. Bills again for the 3rd consecutive week playing a game that's going to come down to the last couple plays. There's Braxton with nobody around him, so the little 2-yard pass turns into a 16 or 17-yard gain. Braxton now adds 21 receiving yards to his 80-plus rushing yards, so he's over 100 yards from scrimmage. And now the handoff to Patrick, who hasn't seen that much action, just his second carry. And he hasn't delivered much either, -1 yards. But the Bills are working the clock a little bit. We're down to 4:15 to go in this one. Shaw's going to drop back to pass. Spin, he's going to run for it. Fights, avoids a couple tacklers. Takes another shot, bounces right back up. 4 rushes for 53 yards for Dennis Shaw. He's just finding any way to win this game. It's quite impressive. There's a screen pass set up for Patrick, who makes a heck of a move at the 23-yard line. He gets all the way up to the 11. Well, there, Patrick gave you something. I said earlier he had not delivered much, but what a move there to take it all the way down to the 11-yard line. Look at this move. Boom. Riley sort of... The move was so good that Riley suspended time and space. Flashed across him but didn't make the tackle. All right, now they're going to take it down 2 seconds when he snaps it. Smartly done. Patrick not getting much on the ground, but he has been fine as a receiver. There's a 1 second difference. Unfortunately, the Bills cannot get it down to the 2-minute warning. They will have to run another play here on this side of the 2-minute warning, and here it is. It is a handoff, and Patrick slams his way inside the 10. So that's the 2-minute warning. The Bills have taken 5 minutes off the clock here and gotten it down to 2 minutes left, and they still have the lead by 4. And up to Patrick, huge hole. Oh, okay. If he had a little bit more speed, he could have took it outside to the pylon, but instead he decided to get what he could and make it a chip shot field goal here. The Bills up over 150 yards on the ground. And the field goal is good. So the Bills do an excellent job of taking over 5 minutes off the clock and taking a timeout away from the Bengals and extending the lead to a full 7 now. So there's almost no way that the Bills will be losing this game in regulation. The Bengals knew they had to get a touchdown anyways, but now they have to do that just to tie instead of doing that to win. So the Bengals have moved the ball, but then they have settled for field goals, made erroneous plays to stop them from even getting field goal attempts, and throwing a couple interceptions. So with all that yardage, they've only put 13 points on the board. I know they're capable of getting the yardage, but when they get closer, will they make the play they need to get the touchdown? There's Myers. That's an injury timeout, but not. I guess he got out of bounds, so they're not going to charge the Bengals a timeout. So the Bengals 1:21 to go from the 45-yard line now. Virgil Carter backs up a little bit further, fires on target, but knocked away nicely by the corner. 1:15 to go, 2nd and 10. They have 2 timeouts. Time's not much of an issue yet. There's a throw underneath, complete, and he falls across the first down marker. So now we're under a minute. Bengals still have 2 timeouts though. Virgil Carter throws, and a good drop there. You don't want to get 2 yards for the amount of time it would have took. So Thomas smartly drops that one. 2nd and 10. Carter drops back to pass now. The blitz is picked up, but the other side is not so lucky, and there's the sack the Bills needed. Now time does become a factor. 3rd and 19, and there's 47 seconds left. You got to go ahead and use the middle of the field. It's 3rd and you don't want 4th and 19. He's looking for it all right now, and nicely defended. Went for the big play, but it was defended perfectly by Alvin Wyatt, and now this is the game right here. 4th and 19. 4th and look at this, perfectly timed. Looking at the receiver, he puts his hands up for it. He did not whack the ball. He whacked the arm, but that's fine. It was as the receiver was trying to catch it, so perfectly done. Carter now drops back. The line does give him time, and he fires it downfield in the middle of all kinds of Buffalo Bills. He came up with it. Crabtree makes a sensational grab with all kinds of Bills around him and hanging on him. That was a gutsy throw. I mean, he had to on 4th down, but still a very good throw and an amazing catch. And now the Bengals are still alive. 20 seconds to go. Carter drops back. Fires in the end zone. It's tipped away, knocked away by Guidry, who almost had his 3rd interception. 16 seconds. Now, if you get tackled in bounds, it might be over. So Carter going to throw for the end zone. He's got the man. Touchdown. Carter hits Thomas in the end zone. And these Bills games are just insane. As with just, there it is, second foot did get inbounds. With just 12 seconds to go. Okay, the Bills coach has done a lot of things right. So this attempt to freeze the kicker on an extra point might just work. They blocked a field goal attempt, so why can't they block an extra point attempt? They don't. The kick is up, and it's good. 10-play, 70-yard drive for the Bengals to tie it up. 12 seconds left in this Week 3 matchup, and the Cincinnati Bengals and Buffalo Bills are tied at 20. There is not much of a gap difference between these two teams, as it shows on the scoreboard 20-20. Whoever is able to turn this game into a win is going to feel very good about the start of their season. There's Braxton on what seemed like a harmless handoff, ends up exploding up to the 38-yard line. That causes the Bills to call a timeout, although it's still too far, I think, for Shaw to throw it. Let's see. Nope, they will hand off again, and Braxton will just get a few more yards. So Braxton goes over 100 yards on that carry. All right, for the second week in a row, the Buffalo Bills are heading into overtime. Last time they had the amazing comeback. This time it was done against them. But in either case, I don't think anyone wants a tie again. So let's have one of these teams win this one. Bills, of course, tied last week 1-0-1. The Bengals, after winning week 1, lost in week 2, so they're 1-1. Both teams looking for their second win now. It's a good return up to the 28-yard line. All right, so a hot and cold day by Virgil Carter. Started off hot, then threw a couple of interceptions, made a couple other mistakes, missed a wide open touchdown, but then on the last drive, he did not miss anything, got him into the end zone. So which Virgil Carter is going to come out for this drive? There's a play action pass. Carter will then go to Phillips, and he breaks a tackle. If he didn't break that first tackle, Geiger would have had him for a loss, but he does break that tackle, end up turning into a 1-yard gain. 2nd and 9 coming up. It is modern rules. Of course, it is Madden. So a field goal by the Bengals will not end it. Any points by the Bills ends it on this drive. So safety or defensive touchdown. There's a, oh my goodness, he breaks through the tackle of 2 Bills, and Lamb, with his just willpower, gets across the 50-yard line. The Bengals are over 300 yards in the air, and they've run 70 plays. The Bills, that's why the tackling is being broken so easily, is they're just probably exhausted. This, again, the second straight week that they've gone to overtime, and they've had to defend over 70 plays in this one. There's a handoff, and nicely tackled there. So the Bengals have taken over 3 minutes off the clock in this 10-minute overtime, but now they have a 3rd and 6, and the Bills have a chance to get off the field here. Carter drops back, throws underneath, it's complete, and first down. Virgil Carter is 29th completion. And now from here, you're talking about a 50-yarder. They tried from 58 earlier, and he was short. But 50, I think he can make. Handoff to Phillips, he gets nothing. And also look at the clock. The Bengals have taken half of the quarter away. So if they do get a field goal, it won't be over, but they'll be putting the Bills into a time concern as well. Carter completes, but not much. We're under 5 minutes to go now, regardless whether teams score or not. They're already in field goal range, but they do want to get closer, and Carter gets them closer. Another 3rd down conversion to Bruce Coslett, and now the Bills know for sure that the field goal can be made from here. They really need to find it within themselves to dig deep enough to stop them from getting in the end zone. I realize they've defended almost 80 plays in this one, coming off a week where they went distance in overtime. But they've got to find a way. Hand up. I mean, you want to tackle any way possible, but when you tackle by the face mask, that's just going to give them another first down. First and goal from the 8. Bengals, of course, trying to get into the end zone to end this thing. They've taken over 6 of the 10 minutes off the board. Carter will toss it, and he gets a block, but there's 2 Bills there, and one man can't block both, so Willis on his 3rd carry gets down to the 9-yard line. Second and goal, down to just over 3 minutes to go. Another toss, and same result. The Bills covering it up beautifully. So now there's a 3rd and goal. If the Bills can hold one more time, they can at least give their offense a chance. Carter's going to throw on this one. Good protection from his line. Fires towards the left, but over the head of his receiver and incomplete. So out comes the field goal kicker. This will not end the game. But again, they've only left 2.5 minutes over a 7-minute drive from the Bengals. And pretty much chip shot field goal will go through the uprights, and the Bengals get their 4th lead of the game, 23-20, with just 2.5 minutes to go. Bengals over the Bills here in a good one, but it's not over yet. Braxton, does he have the magic again? Up to the 30, a nice return, a 30-yard return, but not a 99-yard return. Okay, so Dennis Shaw, he started off 9 of 11. He's been 5 of 9 since then, a little bit cooled off. He's also scrambled a few times, and the Bills have 200 less yards than the Bengals, but they're right here, down by 3 in overtime. Shaw comes up firing, double coverage. He overthrew everyone. With their timeouts, they can still run. They don't have to throw on every pass, but it looks like they are committed to Shaw trying to win the game with his arm, even though that pass was worse than a run as it loses a yard. And that's the 2-minute warning. Okay, so the Bills still have 2 timeouts, but now they only have 2 minutes left to get a game-tying field goal and get their 2nd consecutive tie, or to get a game-winning touchdown. Let's see. Shaw fires across the middle. That's good enough for the first down. That's what you got to do. Just get a few first downs and then see where you're at. They should be hurrying, though. Okay, there we go. A little bit of a hurry up. We're down to 96 seconds to go. Shaw waiting, spinning, throwing into the line. Knocked down. That stops the clock, though. 2nd and 10. They played all 70 minutes last week, and now they've played almost 69 minutes this week. So the Bills definitely getting their football in, which is good for, a very young team. Everyone other than right guard Joe O'Donnell on the offense is under 30 years old. So getting all these snaps is good experience, I guess. But here we go, 4th and 1. This is the game on the line. They will take their time. They have the timeouts. They just have to get the first down. Running is definitely a possibility. They are going to throw, though. Shaw's going to go underneath. And you saw White making sure he made that catch. The Bills elect not to call a timeout, so they're going to try to hurry up. They keep their 2 timeouts. 39 seconds to go. Shaw goes underneath again. Patrick makes the catch down to the 28. And now this is probably a mistake not to call the timeout here, but the Bills decide not to. And now they'll snap a delayed handoff. Braxton slams down to the 25. Now they got to call timeout, don't they? What? The Bills failed to call a timeout at all. And I don't know if the Bills were just trying to get their record to what it was supposed to be. Last week, the Giants coach just had horrendous play calling at the end of the game that turned a Bills loss into a Bills tie. Now the Bills coach turns a Bills tie back into a loss. So the Bills are 1-1-1, and that's probably exactly what they should be. but it's just a weird way to get there. The beneficiaries, of course, are the Bengals, as this should have been a tie, but they are given the win. So, okay, well, at least we know one thing: the Buffalo Bills. You never know what you're going to get. Wins, losses, or ties. Ties that should be losses. Losses that should be ties. Games coming down to the last minute or overtime. Definitely an exciting season for this young team, but very incoherent and hard to follow. But thank you for following, and we'll be back. I don't know if it'll be later tonight or more likely Monday night, but the next game will be the great Dallas Cowboys against the great Miami Dolphins, at least for 1971. That's how they've looked so far. But thanks for watching. Bills lose a heartbreaker. Bengals get the win 23-20. We'll be back for week 3 action in a few hours/days. Thank you and good night.